Hello everybody, my name is George Krajewski. You know, if we could choose where we come from, I'd have picked a different background for myself for sure. As a young man making critical life choices, I didn't have anyone to model success for me, or even to advise me on things like education, training, career, marriage, or planning a family. It really was trial by error. Mostly error. By the time I was 20 years old, I was married with my first child on the way, working in a low-wage, dead-end job, no money, no contacts, no college education, no marketable skills, no pedigree, no nothing. Well, except for a belief that if I ever got the opportunity, I could be great someday. That and the work ethic and burning desire to go out and prove it, should I get the chance. But I had no idea how that was going to happen. Now, you can learn more about the early part of my career, experience, and qualifications in another video on my YouTube page entitled, How I Failed My Way to Success in Sales. So little did I know those early experiences, failure after failure in my sales career, would turn out to be one of my biggest advantages later on in some highly competitive sales environment. When I finally broke into corporate America after years in pest control, and by the way, it was more because of timing than on the strength of my resume or anything like that. It was the late 90s, before the internet bubble had burst. Remember that? Are you kidding me? Everyone with a pulse had a job back then. So here I am, interviewing with the VP for a technology lease and finance company, Christopher Tony, at Newcourt Financial in Westborough, Massachusetts. So he tells me basically he's been scraping the bottom of the barrel to find good sales reps, and there aren't any. He says my resume's weak, and he can't afford to make another hiring mistake. You can imagine what's going through my head at this point. Something like, what the hell are you even doing here, George? Don't you know you need a pedigree to get in here? You don't have a college degree. You never ever went to college. This isn't killing bugs, dude. This is corporate America. The best and the brightest work here, not some schmuck like you. Of course, next thing you know, he interrupts my little crash and burn fantasy to let me know he's going to give me a shot because he really likes me, especially the way I handled myself on the phone. A big thank you right here to Chris Tony. I'll never forget you, man. You gave me my first legit opportunity, and that meant so much to me and my family, I can't even tell you. So I report to work that first day. I remember it like it was yesterday. I'm driving my beat-up old Ford Escort into this huge parking lot. Seems like it was filled with Benzes and Volvos and Beamers. I walk into this huge office building, all glass and steel, rows and rows and rows of cubicles full of well-dressed, well-spoken, highly educated people. Here comes that little voice in my head again, right? We're not in Kansas anymore, Toto. How are you going to compete with these guys? You don't have the pedigree, man. This could be really embarrassing, right? Well, I think it was my third day working there. I'm in the restroom, and one of my new colleagues comes up beside me. We're standing at the sink. He puts his hand on my shoulder and offers what I remember as my official office welcome that changed everything. Welcome to corporate America, he says, where 80% effort will make you six figures. I was shocked. I just smiled and said thanks. But from that day on, I never heard that little voice telling me I didn't belong anymore. Instead, I was thinking, man, I'm going to eat these people's lunch. And sure enough, every day I came into work and crushed it. Day after day, I was making 120 to 150 sales calls, while most people were making 50 or 60. Me and a couple other guys, Craig Sullivan and Jim McCarty, who became friends of mine, still to this day, because of the professional respect and courtesy we developed for each other, seeing the work ethic that we all had. Well, one day, one of the other guys with a big pedigree comes over, and after some initial chit-chat and flattery, he asked me to tone it down a little because I'm making them all look bad. I just chuckled, thanked him for the compliment, and the little voice in my head said, that's right. Game on. And it's been the same everywhere I've worked from that day to this day. No matter how much success I've had, how many sales records I've broken, how many sales teams I've helped turn around, how many top producers I've developed, I'm still the guy coming in with a chip on his shoulder, the guy with something to prove. Because I know the people making the hiring decisions are almost always going to be enamored by the guy with the pedigree. They'll completely ignore a resume filled with 20 years full of top performance. Real world results, verifiable, kicking ass on the guys with the pedigrees, and they'll do it just to play it safe. You know why? Because they're scared. They're scared if the results aren't there. At least they hired the guy that went to the right school and has the right credentials. No one wants to have to explain to the board of directors why they gave the keys to the Ferrari to the guy with no pedigree. So I'm not a fit for that kind of thinking, for that kind of company. I'm the guy you want next to you when it hits the fan and you need to win right now. I'm kind of the Tom Brady of sales. 6th round draft pick, number 199, too skinny, weak arm, slowest QB in the draft, blah, blah, blah. You know what? It doesn't matter. Because David always beats Goliath, all things being equal. You can't measure what's in a person's heart. The passion, the will to win. You either have it or you don't. And you know, sometimes after you have a little success and make some money, that passion wanes or even goes away. You know what? Mine never does, because I know I have to go out and prove it all over again every single day.